Paratech bags. We run the G2s, second generation. They have a third generation, but we run these second generation. This is the regulator for it. It's 150 PSI. That's obviously going to connect to the bottle with a quick connect. Here's your dual deadman. And, you know, most of this is just recap for you guys. We have 4 inline shutoffs. So my personal preference is putting these to the bag. I know a lot of guys will run them from your deadman. The reason I don't like that is because if we have our inline shutoff and we're trying to close off the bag, we're limited on our hoses. So once we close that off, we're going to close that entire hose off and that section of the deadman. When they're on the bags themselves and we need an isolated bag and to add more to the system, we can just shut it off at the bag, leave that bag, and then move on to adding more into the system as we need them. The reason I see people probably putting them up here is maybe on like a dynamic load where they don't want people super close up there, and that's why they set them at the deadman switch up here. We have 2 of these Ys. We're going to use all of this on these 2 evolutions. We only have 2 Ys, which is perfect because on this system we can only run 5 bags with this 150 PSI regulator. You can't run any more than 5 bags per Paratech. So the hoses are all color coded. Another personal preference of mine is I like the black hose from your regulator to your deadman. Just so when you're running the operation, if we're doing single bags and we're going to have them color coded, easily for whoever's running the show can be like, hey, up on red, up on green. So that's why I like the black one right here at the regulator. It's just compressed air we're using. This thing can operate on, you know, your standard air compressor. We have our bottles with the quick connect here, so we're going to use the bottle. If these bottles run out during an operation, which would be a pretty extensive operation if this bottle ends up running out, but you can switch without lowering the entire system. You can keep the system charged with air and still switch. So all of this is on the truck. Everything you see right here. 5 bags on the truck. You got your smallest bag, the 19-ton, then 2 of the 25-ton, and then 2 of your 38-ton. So you'll see the heights on these bags as well. This one's gonna get you 10 inches. The big bag's 13 inches. And what's that small bag? 8.9, so about 9 inches. Then you have your tonnage. So you got 2 different markings. One is US tons. The other marking is metric system. Paratech's a German company, so they have that on there. This is one thing that really confuses people is when they see the tonnage on these bags or even on your Paratech struts. You're like, all right, that bag can lift 40,000 pounds. Well, yes and no. This thing can only lift 40,000 pounds when it's fully deflated up to 1 inch. As you continue inflating these bags operate off surface area contact. So you see the ballooning of the bag, you start to diminish your surface area contact with the power curve itself. When that happens, the higher you get, that weight rating starts to drop. There's a super nerd graph that you can see on the Paratech site, whatnot, following these, that is going to show the entire curve of it from heights and weights lost. Once you get to around 3/4 up to fully inflated, your weight rating almost diminishes by half. So it's not the exact number, but you guys can always look at this graph. But just understand that this is only a 40,000 pound bag if we're going to do less than 1 inch of a lift, so barely any lift. So that goes for all the bags. X marks the spots. Obviously we want our contact points with these X's. And then when stacking bags. The reason we stack bags is obviously if we don't like our surface, we want to put something underneath for a bag to push off of, whether it's plywood or we're using one of the plates from the outrigger. We can only stack 2 bags. The big bag on bottom, the smaller bag on top. The order of operation of lifting is you're going to lift your bottom bag, make contact with your top bag, and then your top bag. You'll see here is running them in different, whether it's the bottom bag first or the top bag first, you'll see a little bit of the differences here. I'm not exactly sure why Paratech, that's how they want it done, is top bag then bottom bag. On this situation with such small points of contact, it seemed like the bottom bag or the top bag was first. The lift went a little smoother because once we raise that bottom bag and then the top bag, that top bag starts to like flay out and almost capture around the point of contact that we're using. And then also this 2 bags is for height, right? So say we have this 9-inch bag, but we need 11 inches of lift more. Vice versa, if we're using a bigger bag, we need more. We're going to use 2 bags to get more. You can also build crib decks too, try and get more height if you need more height. When we do any airbag operation, we're still going to crib.